What's going on, guys? Today, you saw by the title, we have another very special guest on my channel, which is Dylan of Taking Highground. And I think he's going to be showcasing some of he has an amazing collection, cards, comics, just Fortnite collectibles all around. We're going to be seeing some of his amazing collection. And I'm going to show one of my recent pickups that I got real quick, which is the Scientist USA print cracked ice. And this was the last card I needed to complete the secret skin set. So, all right, what that means is I have the USA cracked ice or crystal shard of every card every secret skin that has a card for Fortnite. Just, pretty hard set to complete because there's some pretty valuable cards in there. I'm going to show them off real quick, and then I'm going to bring Dylan on. So the first card in the set is the Visitor, and then it goes to the Enforcer, Aim, Prisoner, Ruin, and missing one. Where's Singularity at? Then Singularity, finally Scientist. So those are all like secret skin cards, and it was a goal that I always wanted because I'm really high on the secret skins. And just a good goal to finally complete for me. Took me right around $1,100 to do it. So, honestly, not bad for some of the high-end cards, and I got some in good grades. But now, Dylan, if you want, I saw you were in the guest a little bit, but after I know my intro now, you can come on whenever. All right, I see you on here. Where is it? All right. What's up, man?
What's going on? Can you hear me okay? I haven't messed with my mic yet.
Maybe just you raise the volume just a little bit. I don't know how that works. I don't have a mic like that.
Is that better?
Yeah, it sounds better, more clear.
All right, sweet.
Got Black Ash in here already.
Yo, what's up, Black Ash?
Yeah. So
I saw your intro.
Now you talk about you're gonna show your top 20 items in your collection for Fortnite. So, I mean, if you just want to, because you've been in the collecting space for Fortnite since pretty much day one, right?
Yeah, for those who don't know me, I think a lot of people who've come to your show probably seen mine too.
Yeah.
What's up, Brian? So you guys may have seen a lot of this stuff that I do show today. But yeah, my name's Dylan. I run Taking Highground with Rob. We've known Richard since we started. He's been an avid listener for us, and his show's been great.
Appreciate that.
Of course. Yeah, I've been in since, I want to say the beginning. I found not some of the earlier people. So I think there's a Facebook group with like 3,000 people in it. And I got into that group around 300, I think, something around there.
Okay, yeah. So right from the beginning, yeah.
But it was pretty early. I got my first Series 1 Mega Box from a Target. So I did get an experience opening a Mega Box at $20. And that was pretty surreal because I couldn't find any more after that. So it was like near the end of the supply of finding those. And I got a Dark Bomber and a Wild Card in the same box.
What a pack, right? I mean,
yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I mean, not much better than that. I mean, pulling like BK or Red Knight, but I mean, that's pretty much as good as you could get.
For me, those two cards like really sealed the deal. It was like it could have been, I don't know, it could have been a Patty Whacker or something.
Yeah.
But like it being Dark Bomber and Wild Card was one of my favorites as well. It's like it was like a god pack, And so, but prior to that, I had bought, I don't know, it was months before I had bought a 6-card pack or maybe it was one of the smaller packs, like a dollar store pack. I got it from 7-Eleven. And all I saw were these horrible screenshots, and the quality of the cards just seemed really bad. And I just kind of threw it away because it was like, I don't need this. So when I found the Mega Box and I saw the cracked ice, I was like, I get it. I 100% get it. This is going to be big.
Yeah.
That's what got me into it.
Okay. Yeah. That's a great story, honestly, if you think about it. I mean, you actually ripped a Mega for $20. I mean, not many people can say it. They did that are still collecting today. That's just a pretty cool story. And like you said, I mean, you got lucky. You pulled 2 huge PC cards, Wild Card and Dark Bomber. I mean, I see you run Wild Card in game even when we played together before. Yeah. And you just like Dark Bomber for the history, I'm assuming, because I've never seen you wear her before.
I have Dark Bomber too. She's not
Okay.
like a crazy one that I wear a lot, but I do have her.
Yeah.
She's just a cool skin. It's just not one I
Hmm.
rock a lot, right?
Yeah.
So in like the history of the games, like if you think Fortnite, you think Bright Bomber, Dark Bomber, Co-Team
Yeah.
Leader, you know, like
Up there
Skull
with
Trooper,
Peely,
yeah.
Fistix. Yeah.
And so they like those just like really pop up.
Hmm.
So when I saw that, it was really special. And then after that is like I went into like hunting mode. And at the time, at the time I came in before the Facebook group, there wasn't much on eBay to be honest.
Yeah.
So like there were some that were like kind of expensive. I remember like can't remember the exact prices, but like the Black Knight Hollows, I remember looking at some cards for like $500. Like no, I can't touch that. Um, but then like I was going for Italy cards, and I was just stacking up Italy cards. And then I'd find some USA shards like Mission Specialist. I got
Yeah.
that graded for $35. Cracked
Wait.
ice
Missions USA.
USA for
What grade?
$35. I think it was either a 9 or a 10. I
Wow, that's
can't remember.
incredible.
Yeah,
Mission
it
Specialist
was
underrated too.
yeah, and it was
Jonesy.
one of the it was one of the skins I wore a lot
Yeah.
before I was good at the game. It
You
was
know,
just like the spacesuit, it's like one of the skins
OG. Yeah.
I just thought it was cool at the time, and so I need to get that back because I ended up selling that card for I think I sold it like the 400 range,
Oh
and
yeah.
I bought it for 35,
Incredible
right?
profit. I
Yeah,
know you
so
guys talk
like
about your profit off the promo set. You sold it for like
yeah, so
4K.
yeah, we can talk the promo set. I never saw the promo set go for sale because I don't know if I was in the group or I wasn't paying attention. And so I didn't buy it from the site. But when I saw it, I was looking for one, and one popped up on eBay for $200, a whole promo set.
Hmm.
And I instantly bought it. I grabbed it, and then I want to say like I want to say like 3 months later, prices like popped to like 11,000. I think one sold for like 11,000, one for like 9,000. Next one was like a little bit lower. So I was like, okay, this is kind of dropping. I need to take advantage of this profit, right? Just so I can
Yeah.
fund other collectings. So I ended up selling it for half of the last sale, which was like 4,800.
Okay.
Um,
Yes.
but like for me, it was like all profit, and I didn't know if it was gonna go back up or not. But like I'm like one of the guys. If I get something for like insanely cheap, I'm not gonna like risk it. Like if I get something super cheap and and like market blows up, I'm gonna take my chance to regain some of that profit because you can always buy more stuff and collect more.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to collect as much as I want to get to a point where I don't have to sell at all. But in the meantime, I've been like selling and then buying, selling and then buying whenever the market dips and goes back up. So
It's like, especially with the promo set. I mean, that's way more common than the regular shards. Like, it's not like it's overprinted by any means, but it's just
yeah,
there's definitely more of them by a pretty good margin.
yeah,
So that's something
we
you could
didn't know this
definitely
at
get
the
back.
time, right? So at the
Yeah.
time, like the pop reports weren't crazy.
Hmm.
I think at the time, like it was probably under 10, to be honest. I can't even remember, like per card. And a lot of people weren't posting them. There weren't a lot for sale. But then you've got people who like the Facebook. Some people had like 3 or 4. Some people had a lot of them. It's just you didn't know that because a lot of the big collectors aren't selling, right?
Yeah.
So it can be really hard to. He said before I was good. Yes, Black Ash. Um, so I mean, it's kind of hard to tell like who has what. And as the market's developed over the years, we're finally starting to understand like what print runs are kind of like,
Hmm.
especially for like the if not prototype for the promo sets.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when we did a video last week about the black and white comics.
Hmm.
I'll briefly talk about later. And when we first got it, we thought we found 5, right? We only knew 5 existed. And then over a few months, then we found out 23. And then recently now it's gone up to like about 70, right?
Yeah.
So like over time you find more information about the collectibles. And so like I've learned over the few years with Fortnite at least is to buy what you can at what you can afford and don't have like FOMO, right? Like take your
Yeah.
time, look for a price, and don't be afraid to take profit, right? Unless it means like something special to you and like you just don't want to lose it. Like for you, it'd be like moisty, right? You don't want to
Hmm.
sell your last moisty.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Exactly. But if it's something else, if it's like a third skin that you like or something like that, you don't be afraid to like, make profit and then hope to get it back later. That's kind of
Yeah.
what I've learned over the time.
I kind of experienced that with my Moth Mando PSA 10. Someone offered me a very strong price for it, and it would have been a huge. It would have been like a 10x for what I paid for it plus grading.
Hmm.
But I just couldn't do it. That's the very first shard I ever bought, and I graded it and it graded a 10. I mean, that story for me is just too good, and I couldn't let that go. Even though Mothman, it was a huge PC for me. So even like just stories with the collectibles, just like the journey of getting the card, it could also mean a lot, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been there. I've sold some cards because the price was so strong, right? And it's just
Hmm.
like, like I sold my Dark Bomber,
Yeah,
and
I got
for
a 10.
I did get a PSA 10. You can see the video on our
Yeah,
channel way back when I got my PSA return. So we got a 10, and people once we did the video, people were asking to buy it. So I ended up selling it for what the market was asking at the time, which was like 3K, which is like
yeah.
insane. So like I can't really say no to that price,
Hmm.
you know. Now do I want it back? Of course do I want it back, Same thing. I sold Wild Card a couple of times,
Yeah,
and now I want him and I want him back, right? But I needed cash at the time for something else.
need to get
And
one
so I
in good
sold him.
condition too.
Yeah, I do want it
That
in good
auction.
condition. So I was like, I keep buying USA shards, and they're coming back in horrible condition.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing with Fortnite is that I've also discovered is that it's not necessarily like people are asked, is this a fair price? And I don't think there is a fair price for any of the shards for Series 1 and Series 2
Hmm.
because it doesn't take much for them to be completely off the market. I remember back when there was no Series 2 yet. Literally, I was buying Italy shards not because like I didn't want USA shards. There was none on eBay.
Yeah.
And when I say none, like besides maybe I don't maybe at a far out price. There might have been one for like 20, 30,000. It's hard to remember. But like there was none. Like I wanted a Ghoul Trooper. I ended up buying a Italy Ghoul Trooper at the time for $500
Yeah.
because like I wanted there's nothing on eBay. There was literally
Hmm.
nothing
I can
except for like
understand that.
Italy ones.
Yeah.
So like I was just buying what I could. I wanted a Ghoul Trooper, so I bought it. That one actually 9.5, the one I
Oh,
bought.
nice.
So I decided to keep it because I'm not gonna
Yeah.
sell it for because at the
Eventually,
time
that'll
500 is what I wanted for it. So
probably be a moneymaker for you in a 9.5.
yeah, probably, but it's probably
Yeah.
one that I probably won't ever sell.
Good story. Yeah, like I was talking about with like my Mothmando, it's a good story.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
personal sentimental value.
Yeah, and I did have a Brazil. So I remember when Brazil, no one was talking about Brazil. It was always Italy. And then someone in Australia was selling a PSA 9 Italy Ghoul Trooper shard. And I spent a lot of money on that. I can't remember how much I spent. It was a good amount of money.
Yeah.
And I got it, and it was Brazil. And like no one was talking about Brazil. It was like, what? Where did this come from? And then the whole Brazil Italy thing started happening. But at first,
Yeah.
like no one, Brazil just came out of nowhere. It wasn't
Hmm.
like Italy where you could buy packs. I mean, buy boxes and things like that. Brazil just literally came out of nowhere. I had a graded card, and that's when I first realized there were Brazil cards.
Yeah. And then back to your point a few minutes ago, you talked about there is no market value for the Series 1 shards.
Hmm.
I've had that experience myself. My biggest is with the Moisty Merman crystal shard that I bought. So before I got in, I was like, this was right after I got in. I was looking at comps, and I saw one did like 125. Right, buy it now, Moisty crystal shard, and I ended up paying just under 300 for mine, and way over market value. But I just had to get that card. It meant so much to me, and I just didn't care at that point. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
exactly what I kind of want to talk about. It's like the way that Fortnite's different is like we have these connections to these skins, especially if you started out early in the game. Maybe not as much now, but
Hmm.
there's so few shards, and that's what people want, right? It's the really shiny cards, they're beautiful cards. That's
Yeah.
what the people are going to want in the future. And there's so few of them, and they don't always show up. So when they do, it's not like, let me go see what the last sale was. That's not a thing for this, right?
Yeah.
It's what does this mean to me? And can I get it before someone else gets it?
Hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And because like if you don't buy it, so like the wild card, I showed it on my channel how scratched it was,
Yeah.
and I almost kept going with the sale. I spent almost $300 on that card, and I was thinking, I say, well, I sold one like a 9 for like 300 something, maybe 400. And I was like, am I really
Yeah.
gonna spend 300 for a scratched up version? But I was literally thinking to myself, I was like, if I don't buy this now, is another wild card going to show up?
Hmm.
And that's the issue, is that your favorite skin may not show up again.
Yeah.
So it's rough. It's rough out there. It's like people
Yeah.
keep talking about like I'll give you another one that I don't have yet is Zadie. I
Okay.
don't rock Zadie a lot, but I like it and I know how popular it is and I do
Hmm.
own it now. Whenever I own it, I try to get the card because who knows, maybe I'll start playing it heavy.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been trying to get that for a while now, and I asked some people, "What do you guys think the fair price was?" And a couple of people said maybe like 200 and stuff like that. So I offered like 350 because I couldn't find one. One finally popped up. Someone said they had one, and I went above what they were at, what my
Yeah.
community was saying it was worth. And then the guy pulled it, wouldn't sell it to me. He just ghosted me.
Well, he probably knew that you needed it or wanted it so bad. He probably, was hoping for that
Yeah, so
500 from you.
Yeah, so I went above and beyond what most people were asking for it, and
Yeah.
it didn't work out. So it's tough out there for those shards. Series 3 is a little different, but
Yeah.
if something happens to the market where like even small percentage comes in, it's gonna get tougher and tougher.
Hmm.
Especially when like real money gets in. When I say real money, it's like we have some whales in the community. But I don't know how many of those whales are putting in millions of dollars into their collectibles.
Like Eduardo's probably like the only one who's put like probably close to 1 million probably in his collection.
Yeah, and I don't know how many are doing that, but like you go to other collectibles
Hmm.
and like there's a lot of money going into collectibles.
Oh yeah, it's like
So
with sports cards.
it
Yeah.
wouldn't take much. Like one big spender, one big collector, if they came in, they could clean out eBay. They need to start fresh from the collection.
Hmm.
So it's like right now I'm just kind of enjoying the hobby, enjoying the flow of eBay. There's cards that I want. Like you've passed me. I don't even have that many Series 1 shards because I keep returning them.
Yeah.
So like I think the last 3 or 4, I never returned cards, but like I had to return.
The hunting
Um,
rifle.
a hunting rifle. Yes, that one was sad because I was buying that one, so I sold mine and I was
You
gonna get
sold
the
the
wrong
10.
one. I sold my 10
Oh
to
man,
fund a trip it was part to fund my trip to um get to the national.
that was kind of worth it then.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
at the same time it was like I needed money for other stuff and everything going on. I have like kids and stuff like that. So I sold it, but now I needed one back and then the raw one just it was so bad condition. I couldn't do it.
It was only for about like what was it like 150? If I remember right.
Yeah, it was like I think it was like 175 or
Okay.
something like that. And but it was unlike the wild card, it was scratched on the front to like
Oh yeah.
in person. I pulled it out and all I could see were scratches on the front.
Yeah, it's too bad.
And
You can't
so
deal
for
with it
that
on the
price,
front.
yeah, like the front means the most to me. With the
Hmm.
wild card, it was just like $300 and it's like ruined on the back.
Yeah,
It's hard.
that's probably a
It's really
PSA
hard.
one that wild card.
I don't know what I don't know what the once you get past like 8, I don't know what it's gonna grade, to be honest. So that would be kind of interesting to see. I know a lot of
Yeah,
people were saying that's like a PSA one.
yeah, it's
Um,
got to be. I mean, I know what the lower cards would grade. I got too many of those. Got to start upgrading a little bit, but and you know, so if you want to get into your top 20, you can. You must get into
and
that.
it's roughly 20, but like I just grabbed a whole bunch of stuff and I
Yeah.
kind of put it in order for what I liked. So I'm going to start at the very bottom and work my way up.
Okay.
And I've showed a lot of this stuff before, but I've never seen it in like an order. So I just made this like 10 minutes ago, so we'll see what it looks like. So
Game Informer.
this is my Game Informer with no label in the back. Very hard to
Yeah.
find. I've told people how to try to find these in the past. I only have one. Sorry, that focus. There we go.
It looked good when
Um,
you held it up.
Good. So you apparently can get these like graded. I'm going to at some point. I need to hurry up and do that just so I can get into a slab.
Hmm.
But what's cool about this is like I'll hold it one more time. Like it doesn't have the Fortnite logo. This is pre-Fortnite logo. This is 2014. This came out, and it has what the story was gonna be for Fortnite before it like all changed like the 0 point focus and everything. Um, so this was just a cool thing. It's just
Yeah,
like a cool
that's
history
awesome.
of the game. Um, I really like that for that. All right, and then we'll get into some. So I'm gonna start with some comic stuff first, if that's okay. I
Yeah,
know this
that's
is mostly
perfect.
cards, but
Yeah, it's perfect. Do what you want.
um, I'm not a huge Peely fan. Like I don't wear him, but I think he's a hilarious character. I don't really collect his cards, but this graded 9.8 of Peely's first cover appearance. So this is the first time that Peely gets on the cover of anything. So I thought that was an important book to get.
I just got Deadpool on there. That's pretty big, actually. That's like the first
Yeah.
collab skin in the battle pass, right?
Yep. And so like him just falling from the Deadpool battle bus,
Yeah.
and like all these characters were in Fortnite.
Hmm.
So it was just a cool cover. So I bought as many of these comics as I could. I think I have like, I don't know. I'm lying or guessing, maybe 50 of them. I don't know.
Wow.
So, but I only have this one 9.8.
That's probably pretty big, I'd imagine. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, they were hard to find. When I was going through, these are like, so these were all from a Marvel crossover collab.
okay.
So the comic has nothing to do with Fortnite, but there's Fortnite characters on the covers of these comics. And when I was buying them all, because I have complete sets of them, I have like 7 to 8 complete sets of that crossover. When I was buying them, I was like, man, this X Force one is kind of hard to find to make those like full sets. And then I found a seller that had a bunch, and I just like cleaned them out. I was like, I'll buy all of them. So that I have a good amount of those.
That's a really nice one. I haven't really seen like paid attention to it before until now. Like I've seen it on your show, just haven't paid attention
Mhm.
to it. That's really cool.
In terms of like art, the first Marvel Fortnite crossover covers are great. Like they're all like top notch. I love them all.
Yeah,
All right, next. So I guess is next one we have
that's the
Fantastic
first
Four.
one. Yeah,
So this has the Nexus War, the first Fortnite comic book, and it's a interior issue, which means it's like 4-page issue inside of this comic, in like the middle of it. Um, this one is super interesting because I've always wondered for years, like, why did they put Doctor Doom fighting the Mecha Team Leader in this? And then years later, after this comic came out, literally in the freaking Fortnite game, Doctor Doom was battling the Seven and the Mecha.
yeah,
Right? So like
yeah.
it's
That's
kind of
cool.
crazy like how they thought that far ahead. But this was the first Fortnite comic.
And that's in a 9.8. I know that thing does like $20 ungraded, right?
I don't know what it goes on graded because I have about 50 or more of these. I
Yeah.
bought a lot of those, but I bought them a lot cheaper. So
There's some
this
stuff I
one
learned
is
on
the
your.
I don't know how to say it, Black Ash. It's Munocoli variant, Camuncoli. That's the artist.
But I was gonna say, just some stuff I learned on your show because you talked about how it was the first one, and I understand the importance of that. So I looked at getting one. As like 15, $20 for a comic, which isn't really my thing.
Mhm.
But if it was cheaper, I probably would have gone for it. So I'm assuming at a 9.8, that's probably pretty big, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many there are 9 points because it's not like this was like that rare to get, right? You can
Hmm.
buy them. So you should be able to find them cheaper than that. You should be able to find them for like $6
Oh wow, I'll have to look
raw.
for that then.
That's like the retail price. Unless they've gone up that much, I just didn't notice. Now for graded, I think I bought this for like $60 or $80. I
That's
wasn't
not
really
bad at
caring
all.
about the price too much. I just wanted a 9.8. And for guaranteed 9.8, I didn't care. As long as it was
Yeah,
like under 100.
I think that's a pretty good deal. If I could get one for that, I'd go for it. Honestly, I mean, I like that buy a lot. Actually, it's
Yeah,
nice.
it's just super sweet just to have, right?
Yeah,
Even as just art. All right, and then the next
yeah,
comic is I've talked a lot about this one. This is
hmm,
like you were showing off the seven earlier, the secret skins, and here is the Foundation, the leader. This is his
yeah,
first appearance and his first cover appearance. It's also the first Fortnite comic that got its own name called Foundation. So like all of them were like Marvel Zero Point or Zero War, right? This one got Foundation. So like like Spider-Man has his own comics.
yeah,
The fact that his was called Foundation, I just thought was super cool and I needed it. And this was actually drawn by Donald Mustard.
yeah. That's just incredible. I've known that from your show, and I want one of those too. But those were 1 to 25, right?
Yeah, these are one of
Yeah.
25, which means the comic book store had to order 25 of the regular variant to be able to get one of these.
Hmm.
So they're a lot more scarce. You can still get a raw version for about $20.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, so that's kind of what a one of 25 usually goes for is like $20 or $25. Um, so they're pretty cheap. I mean, I think for a graded one like this, you can get it for like 125.
Okay, yeah,
I have
that's not bad.
I have like 4 graded and like 30 to 40 of these
Yeah.
raw. So just letting you guys know what I have so y'all can make educated decisions. Now that was the US version with like the cover that said Foundation. This is the version
Ooh,
which
that's
has
cool.
no title on it, no trade dress. This was, I think it's a German version, and I think only 1,111 were made.
Wow, that's really cool. That's incredible, actually. Just seeing that artwork without any text.
Yeah, I really
Wow.
like Virgin covers, and there's a lot of comics I'm not showing here that are some of my favorites, but I couldn't show too much. So this is one of the cool ones. All right, next we have the monofoil.
Yeah, that's the one, right?
Yeah, this
One of the
one's
best ones.
this is one of the best ones. So um, a little bit about this one is like the very first Fortnite comic was, and I should have had it, but it's a this cover but in yellow. It was 0.1, and it was cover B. So it wasn't like usually cover A is usually the cover that pops up the most. But cover B for the 0 point is the one that got the most popular and was like, to me, it's like the just symbolizes Fortnite, right? They did a good job.
Yeah.
So this is the monofoil version. Comic book stores had to order 500 of the Batman Day giveaway comics. So every year they do a Batman Day where they give away comics to people. So the comic book store has to order at a discounted price. Like they're super cheap, right? I think it's like 25 cents. Someone don't quote me. I'm not a huge comic guy, but like it's like I think comic book shops have to order like 25-cent comics to give away. And if they did 500 of those, they
Wow.
got one of these.
That's a lot for. I mean, that's huge. That's probably
Yeah, because
very
they were giving them
scarce.
away, right? So like
Yeah.
how many are they expecting to come to give away comics? But the
Hmm.
comic book shop, I doubt they're going to be giving away 500 comics.
Yeah.
So that's why these are pretty rare. Um, there's a good amount graded already. So I have one. I used to have two. I may try to pick up another one at some point in a 9.8.
I remember I was watching one of your guys' old shows. This was towards the beginning. I go back and rewatch those when I have really nothing to do. And you talked about a huge deal that went down where someone got huge value for a 9.8 of that monofoil
Sure. So what happened
back at the
was,
peak.
so for comics, like a 9.9 and a 10 are almost unheard of in comics.
Hmm.
Sometimes it happens if it's a really strong cover and there's like no blemishes, but it can be pretty rare. But this is a very hard cover because it's monofoil, so the chance to get a 9.9 is there. And someone
Yeah.
got one. Someone got a 9.9.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what happened was somebody traded their 9.8 and paid, I think like $8,000 to $10,000 on top for it.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty
That's what I was
crazy,
thinking of. Yeah.
pretty crazy trade. Which cover are you talking about? That was an earlier comment. All right, and then next we got. So this isn't it, but I have it on my wall above me, and I don't feel like moving my camera. But I have the original art of this.
Oh, like the sketch?
Yeah, it's actually a painting.
Oh, that's cool.
So this artist paints her covers, and I have the original painting that she sent to Marvel to make it into a cover.
And that's
It's
the only.
It's the only one. It's one of one. It's the
Yeah.
original. So it's not this. It's much bigger.
Okay.
It's above me. I guess I can try to. You can see
Oh,
it
that's
right
cool.
there, and you can see where I took the comic down because I had the comic next to it. Hopefully, I don't drop my camera.
And that's the only comic cover to have only Fortnite characters on it, right?
Correct. This is the first and only comic that has just Fortnite characters on it,
And it's the sisters, so that's pretty
and they're
big.
the sisters.
Yeah.
So I had to grab that one. So that's one of my favorite collectibles that I have. And I paid over 2K for it, so I'm happy to have it.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And so then I guess comic wise, I don't know where this one lands in like my overall collection, but we're gonna talk about this one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is a black and white one that I mentioned earlier. This is signed by the writer, and this was the writer's copy that he was able to sell to me. Super happy to have this. You can check out our website and my past videos for the crazy story behind this one. It's a long, entangling story. So yeah, it's a great one. That's Foundation. So first appearance of Foundation. All right, next we have another original art, and so you saw that. Maybe I should pull that one out just to give an example. So before I had showed you the Fantastic Four Fortnite cover
Mm-hmm.
crossover for Nexus War. Well, this was cover A. So the first cover of
Okay.
that comic. Okay, and it says you can see at the top it says
Yeah.
Nexus War. So I have the original art of this.
Wow. That's probably huge, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's pretty huge, right? So I have the original art of cover A for the very first Fortnite comic story.
And is that story, what is it like? Does it like half Fortnite, half Fantastic Four type story? Like what is it? I don't read the comics, so I don't know what's inside of
So
it.
you remember the Marvel season?
Yeah, that was great.
So there's a battle pass, and at the bottom of the battle pass, you see an actual comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? You can
Yeah.
click on it and you can read the comic book. It's that comic.
Oh wow.
So, and
That's huge.
I just opened this one up here. I have a bunch of these, so I'm gonna flip to the page. So there's Thor and Galactus, and then I'll flip through. This is where you'll see first appearances. Get to the right page. So here's Thor, and you see the Rainbow Road, and Thor actually comes to the Fortnite Island.
Wow.
So
Bright Bomber.
there's Bright Bomber, Peely, Jonesy, Raven, all the classics, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'll just flip all the way. It's only a couple of pages. They fight with him. Like there's Bright Bomber's face.
So you have the original artwork?
And then Thor calls all the Marvel characters that came into the game
Yeah.
through the Rainbow Road thing. And so they come to the island, they get stuck, and they fight Galactus.
And you have the original artwork of that? Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, I guess I'll show you. It's right there on that wall. You can kind of see it. It's a sketch.
That's so cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's hopefully it doesn't fall.
And that just reminded me, that comic, I remember this was over a year ago. I won a giveaway of a Dark Bomber holofoil from you guys. And the question was, what was the first character to appear in a Fortnite comic? Yeah, it was Bright Bomber. I remember that now.
Yeah, Bright Bomber is a crazy cool character.
Yeah.
I need to get some of those. I don't have any Bright Bomber shards. I used to have Italy ones, and I sold those.
You gave me an Italy one to give away.
Yeah, I've given away a lot of my cards, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then, all right, I guess we'll go into cards next. That's cool.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait to see some of your cards.
All right, so I told you I got rid of my hunting rifle crystal shard, so I need to get one of those back. But in the meantime, I do have my prototype hunting rifle. It's pretty low on the list because this is like no different, except for the fact that it's a prototype.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion, the prototypes that are completely different or weren't in the set at all are the coolest. But it doesn't matter. It's still pretty cool. It's my hunting rifle.
Do you know the how many of those are out there? Because there's that list. Do you know how many?
I wasn't keeping track. There's probably a few.
Okay.
If I had to guess, 7 to 10 maybe. I don't know, because Rob has one. Maybe it's less. I don't know. I'd have to check. I never really looked into it.
I think the most are around 7 for.
So it's probably one of the most ones, I would guess.
Yeah.
And shout out to Wayne for that, by the way.
I just have one of the screenshots, and I looked at there's only 3 of them. So.
Okay. Yeah, I actually haven't looked. I should find that out just so I can know what the.
You guys actually put it in one of your videos. That's how I found out about mine. It's the one where you talk about the deal between Wayne and Black Ash at when they met up, and Black Ash got those original 9 prototypes.
Yeah, if I was to ask Rob, he probably or Randy, they probably know a lot more about like the print runs.
Yeah.
I just didn't pay too close attention to the print runs. Next is kind of like a combination. So I counted this as one because it was like, so you talked about the secret skins, and like I don't usually collect going after like a specific set until I saw this, and like this was one of the like
I know, yeah.
This was one of the instant purchases I did in the game where it's like it was 3 skins that I wanted all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And so I'll show these here, and I got them all in 10. So it's Wild Card, and they're all double agents, and there's Double Agent Hush, and then there is Chaos Agent.
Yeah. That pack is incredible in game.
Yeah, so probably the coolest, like 3 set. So that has to make it in my collection. When I was going through it, it's just like that's so cool. And I got them in 10s when I created with tags, so I had to put those in there.
Yeah, that's a great set.
The crazy thing is I had this set in PSA and I sold it, and now I got it back in tag in 10s. So that goes to show you that Series 3 is a lot easier to get
Yeah,
in Series 1 and Series 2 because I was able to complete that set twice now differently.
yeah,
Um,
and that's pretty
but
cool because you got it in tag, and that's your personal preference, and I'm sure you made money off the PSA set, and and you still were able to get
yeah,
back the set. That's pretty cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool. And then here's another tagged one, and this
Galaxia,
Galaxia, yeah. So this was the very first crew skin,
the crew pack, yeah, I like that.
and I have every single crew skin.
So you got the crew skins, I got the secret skins. Yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, I have every in game. I have every crew. You said
I
you
thought you
have
meant
in
the
game.
cards. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if I have it in cards. I should check. That might be something I have to do, but
there's
I
only
doubt.
two of them, right? It's
Yeah, I
Galaxia
know
and Vi.
Vi. I don't know if there's any others.
Because the third one was the like the Lynx kind of variant, and that one didn't make it to the set, right?
Oh yeah, I did not like that one. That is
I
true.
remember, yeah, I remember you saying
But I
that.
have everyone in game, so it's like, and this was the first one. I actually wore this a lot, and I still do
Yeah,
sometimes.
hmm
It's one of my save skins. So any skin that I wear a whole bunch is gonna make it to my top. I feel like.
that
So
purple looks great too.
yeah, it's a really great card. It's probably one of my favorite cards of Series 3. It's just such a beautiful card. All right, next is going to be some curveballs that a lot of people aren't going to have. And I'm not trying to like push stuff. This is just my collection. I have no idea what this stuff is going to be worth. Probably nothing. Just so you guys know. Next is a DKV card.
Those are cool.
And so this is the page of the first appearance of Renegade Raider.
That's big,
Yeah, so
underrated for
in
sure.
the comic, this is her page where she made her first appearance, which is crazy. So, like,
Oh
if
yeah,
that ever does become a thing, if you have the card of the first appearance, I don't know, and the card's just sweet.
oh
And
yeah. He's
so,
got that cracked ice. It almost looks like a crystal shard.
yeah, it's definitely they're very thick like the crystal shards, but because of like how I don't know the tint, it is kind of hard to see sometimes. I like it though. A lot of people don't like it. It really depends on like what aesthetic you like.
So does it you were a sports guy? Does it look like a contender's cracked ice kind of?
It looks kind of like, it reminds me of, the atomic refractors.
A top, okay, from the early tops days.
Yeah, so, like, I had
Okay,
an atomics refractor Allen Iverson rookie card,
that
and
was
that's
probably
what
pretty
it.
big.
Yeah, yeah, it was
You
pretty
had one of
big.
those?
Yeah, I had a
Nice.
9.5.
Wow, that's probably pretty big.
BGS 9.5.
You still have that?
No, I
Uh,
sold it, getting into Fortnite.
okay.
I sold most of my no, all of my Allen Iverson stuff. I was an Allen Iverson collector, so I had a lot of his stuff, and I
You're a
sold it.
Wizards guy, right?
Yeah, I do still have a John Wall card, which is pretty epic, but and I've tried to sell it, but I don't know what to sell it for. So this is John Wall's rookie card. It's a
Yeah.
patch and
Oh,
a basketball, and it's a 1 of 1.
oh, that's probably pretty big.
So you can see the 1 of 1 right here.
Yeah.
So it's a rookie, patch and ball. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
I still have some other John Wall stuff too, but that's probably my biggest John Wall one. I mean, I do have.
Got some Brad Beal down there too.
I used to have a lot of Brad Beal. I had a lot of Kyrie Irving. I thought
Okay.
Kyrie was gonna blow up and be huge, so I had all his rookie stuff and well, his rookie because his was weird because like I
Because
think it
the
was the year.
2012 thing.
Yeah, it was some weird 2012 thing. So I had all his first cards, all his
Yeah.
good ones. But he got a little weird. So
Yeah.
I
He's
do
a
have
flat earther now.
I do have this out of 100 John Wall
That's
card.
cool.
Not many of these were like you couldn't find a rookie card that
Hmm.
was hollow back then for like John
Yeah.
Wall and stuff. So having this was pretty cool. I found this. It's pretty beat up on the back, but it's out of 100, so you can see at the
Yeah.
bottom.
That's pretty cool.
So I still have some stuff left, but
Yeah.
that's because there's not a big market for John Wall anymore. Allen Iverson, there was a market, so I sold those, and yeah, I still have a lot of John Wall stuff.
Yeah. Allen
That's
Iverson's actually still pretty big to this day. Like, you see people rocking the jerseys
oh
still.
yeah, he was crazy for the game.
Yeah.
Not to go off Fortnite, but like that's some of my basketball stuff.
Yeah.
All right, next we have another DKV one, and a 0 point number 1 is the yellow cover that I was talking about,
Hmm.
based on the monofoil. And I don't
That's pretty
have this
cool.
in a 10, so I'm showing the 9. Um, I wanted Tab to grade these, but
Would they?
they don't do rounded corners
Oh,
yet.
okay.
because of like how the computer grades and stuff. They don't want to damage cards, so
Okay.
they have to be square corners. So they wouldn't grade these,
They use
unfortunately
like
for
an
me.
AI system, right?
Yeah, they have a whole AI system. They have like 150 patents and stuff. It's
Wow.
crazy technology. So these are actually hard to grade. They might be harder than Reloaded.
Really? You think so?
They might be.
Because I know you're
Um,
really experienced in grading both, probably more than just about anybody. So I mean, you'd be the one to
yeah,
tell.
yeah. The thing is, like, these aren't like rounded corners like Pokemon, where like it's very exact. It's
Hmm.
almost like it's like they thought they were gonna do sharp corners, and then they decided to do rounded.
Mm.
Um, I don't know if you can see it. This one's maybe
Kind
show
of
you
hard to
one.
tell, but you can kind of tell.
Like it's almost looks sharp, but they're not supposed to be sharp.
Hmm.
And then it gets a lot of white, so getting tens are gonna be kind of hard. So I just like these cards in general.
Yeah,
So with that said, I'm super happy to have gotten a 10 of this one.
that's cool. 10.
Yeah, and this is one of my favorite covers too. I didn't show that cover in my collection. I should have, but they have this cover in the comics, and it has all the characters jumping at Batman,
Yeah,
and it's just a cool card and cool comic cover.
I gotta
So
get some
like
of those DKVs now. Yeah,
they're still pretty cheap.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about the print run. They were made in Peru, so figuring out the standards and like how much print run is going on there. Because they were selling the boxes were selling for a lot,
hmm,
but like I was buying at one point, I bought like cases, right? I think I averaged like $6 a box. And
okay,
then
yeah,
they were selling them at $40 single boxes on eBay.
okay.
So they were selling them for a lot. I don't know how many they had and stuff. So I bought a whole bunch in trying to hit them and complete the Fortnite set. So I actually have like thousands of DKV cards.
Just from ripping.
That, yeah, but not like Fortnite because there was only eight
Yeah,
Fortnite cards in there, and then there was like 300 Batman cards.
yeah,
So like I have a whole box full of those. All right, next we have one of my favorite, not one of my favorite loading screen of all time. Somehow made it into Reloaded,
I
and
know what
so
this.
like
Yeah, Rocket
having this
Ride. Yeah,
as a 10 is kind of epic.
yeah, it was really cool. You had three of those at one point, right?
Yeah, I think I gave one away and I sold one. I
Yeah,
think, or maybe I
I know
sold
Kari
both.
ended up with one somehow.
Yeah, so I'm not selling this 10. I'm probably gonna grade more of these. I graded it in tag. The reason I'm showing the PSA one is because the tag one got an 8 and this
Oh,
one got a 10. Um, I think PSA has been a little bit lenient on the reloaded holofoils, but
and the
I could be wrong.
lenticulars, but those are actually kind of clean though, right? The
And
rounded
this,
corners.
yeah, these ones are. It's easier to get 10s in the hollows than any of the other cards.
Okay,
Um, just because they're like stronger, I guess.
could be. Yeah.
But yeah, the definitely one of my favorite loading screens. A cool story about this is when this came out in the game, I recognized the art style. And I used to have a different company where I was looking at artists all the time to hire people,
Hmm.
and I recognized the artist.
That's
And
really
I went
cool.
to their portfolio and I found it. I said I knew he did it without looking up the name. Because
Yeah.
now you can, if you go to the game, you can look up the artist. But
Hmm.
I knew who it was based on the image, just by the style. And
That's
so
awesome.
ever since then, like I almost rocked it all the time as my loading screen.
That's really
So
cool.
that's probably why I like it. And it's the Rocket Ride, which is like
That's iconic.
it's classic Fortnite.
Well, because isn't it? It's one of the OG defaults, right? On a
Yeah.
rocket, holding the pumpkin launcher too, right?
Yeah, the pumpkin launcher.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's over retail row,
Oh
which is
yeah,
like
that's incredible.
was crazy back then because that's literally what we did is we jump on rockets and
Hmm.
stupid stuff like that. All right, next is because I don't have the US version, I have an Italy version of
The
my
pump.
pump and tag.
That's
I'm
cool.
actually glad this got a 9. I wasn't sure what I was gonna get. So the back has like this white. I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't see it. It's a little
Not
bit of
really, but
that like fraying it gets
yeah, I know what you're
a
talking
little
about.
bit down the bottom of the back.
Okay.
But it's just a beautiful card, and the pump is legendary. If you played Fortnite,
Yeah,
you either
yeah.
love the pump or you hate it. And I was
Hmm.
one of the guys who'd hit one pump, so I loved it. Um,
That's like the only thing I was good at was hitting my shots. So
oh
yeah,
yeah,
I
I
was a
know
big
you
fan of
do
it.
hit your shots. The people who have like take their time and hit their shots, it's like that's why I wish they'd bring it back, to be honest. But
Yeah.
next we have Puddle Team Leader USA shard.
Nice. Is that a 10? I can't really tell.
No, it's an 8.
Oh, okay.
Um,
It's pretty big.
it is pretty big. It took me a while to get this. I've been trying to search eBay for one, and
Hmm.
there's only been one on there for like, I don't know, almost a year at
Yeah.
like $1,200 raw or something. I think that
Yeah.
maybe they brought the price down recently. But like, I'm not paying that, and so I had to get this through a trade with a Facebook group member, and I
Okay.
traded my Blue Squire for it. And like, I used to wear Blue Squire. I still do sometimes.
That was your first skin, right?
That was my first skin, and I used to wear them all the time. But like Cuddle Team Leader is so nostalgic to Fortnite. I was like, I need to get a Cuddle Team Leader. I can get a Blue Squire again, I think.
Yeah. You
Um,
could probably like post something right now and say you're looking for a blue Squire. You probably get one within a couple of weeks, I'd imagine.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Have you worked hard at it? But you'd be surprised whenever I post like I want something, people like clinch. Like I don't. Every time I've ever said I need something, it's never been like I got you.
What do you know? You know something I
Yeah,
don't.
exactly. It's like when I sell, people message me like, I saw you were selling." So I was like, "Why is he selling? What does he know that we don't?" I don't know nothing. I was just selling stuff because I needed some cash.
I've only
So like,
experienced that once with it was with the Enforcer crystal shard I bought, and the first person that came to me that had one, and he was like, "So I know you're big. Like, what do you know? You must know something, right?" I was like, "No, it's actually for the secret skin set, and I just like those." We didn't end up working out. I ended up getting it from Black Ash actually. He ended up hooking me up with a PSA 9 for a pretty good price, but
that's the thing. It's like they're so rare that it's kind of hard to let go. And then if someone tries to buy it from you, you're like, why do they want it? You
yeah, what do they
know?
know? Yeah.
So I guess like the classic move is say it's a PC card.
Hmm.
But most of the time it is, you know what I mean? It's like I
Yeah.
only buy like PC most of the time, so it's not like I'm like scheming. Um, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. So I think I'm going over 20 a little bit. But I have 6 cards left. Next is my Renegade Raider 9.5
Okay, SGC. Yeah, that's awesome.
SGC. It's a great looking card. It could probably 10.
Cracking
It could
resub.
not, but I'm not resubbing.
Okay.
I like it in the SGC.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad like I have a clean copy. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
it's like buy the card and then at the
Not the
grade.
grade,
And this got a 9.5,
and
right?
that's still a good
If it
grade.
got a
So
9, maybe. But this is a
cracking resub.
9.5,
Yeah.
which could be a 10, or it could be a 9. So I'm just gonna keep it. And I like SGC. It's one of my favorites. So
I did
um
buy one raw one. Just it's super talked about. I gotta have one kind of thing. A little bit of
yeah,
FOMO, but I didn't overpay. So
good. Is it clean?
no, it's probably like an 8 at best.
Yeah, it's so hard. So hard to grade those. I will be sending some in the tag. I mean, just to see the report and see like how do they grade
Yeah.
those because like if you guys haven't seen it, it's kind of hard to see since it's black borders, but like the black of the card is framed and it's tilts.
Yeah.
It goes at it like a diagonal.
You can't
So
tell centering really.
yeah, centering is gonna be very hard. All right. So the next we have a recent pickup, and this took years to get. And that's my Ghoul Trooper.
Yep.
And this one's not graded yet. It's gonna be going to tag eventually. Because I don't plan to ever sell it.
That's awesome, man. I'm happy you got it. Honestly, I mean, because ever since I started watching you, I knew you've wanted one. You've gotten close multiple times. You've missed auctions, whatever. You
Yeah,
finally got one.
so I got it for like 600, and I remember at one point I
Good
missed an
deal.
auction that ended around 600, and so I'm just glad I finally got one.
You said it's
Um,
about a 7.
um, 7 probably, yeah. So it has a really bad back corner. Again, like I
Yeah,
don't.
that was the problem with my moisty. I think 600 is a very good price on your end for that, honestly.
Yeah, I think the front's pretty clean, but like I haven't gone with like a magnifying glass or anything.
When
But like,
was the last time a raw one was on eBay? Like it's been a while, right?
which one?
A raw Ghoul Trooper just on
Oh
eBay.
yeah, it's been a while. There's a 10 on there for like 6K.
Yeah.
Um,
There's that SGC 9 for 19.
SGC for 19. I tried to get
Yeah.
him down,
Hmm.
um, but he wouldn't budge from that price.
Okay.
So I couldn't go that high.
Yeah.
Um, so next we have like this is crazy because this is my collection already. So the next card is not worth nearly as much. I have about 5 of these. But I wear the skin a lot, and so
Rocks.
rocks
Yeah.
and 10. And I have like 3 or 4 9s.
Wow.
And
How do
so
you
if
find
I
these Series 3 cracked ice? I can't
this
find some of the
this,
ones that I need ever.
this is series 2.
Oh, that's why I meant Series 2,
Yeah,
my bad.
series
Yeah.
2. I don't remember how I got the other ones, but I'm happy to have this one in a 10 and in tag, so it can
Yeah.
be in my PC.
I'm looking for a
Um,
Rustler. I've never seen one for
a
sale.
Rust Lord.
Rustler from Series
Oh, I was
2.
about to say there's a Rust Lord. I used to have a Rust Lord and I sold it.
Yeah.
A Wrestler. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if I might have. You guys should send me a message with what you're looking for in case I ever find them.
Yeah.
Here we
Odd.
go. Is Hush. I've probably wore this skin almost as much as the next card. Maybe more to be honest. But like I
Yeah.
used to wear this one like 24/7. And so this is a 10. I'd have like 3 9s or something like that. And like finally traded for this 10. If I was being blatantly honest though, I don't think it's a 10.
Just like your hunting rifle, your old
No,
hunting
well, the hunting
rifle.
rifle had the like an obvious thing, but
Yeah.
this one is not as blatant. But like, you can see the foil. You know how like you etched and you can see like silver.
Hmm.
So like you can see that on the edge here. It's like silver popping over the top. I don't know how much they would take off for that. Then if you look at the back, there's a little bit of white here and there. So honestly, it might be a 9, but it says 10, so I believe them. It's a 10, so
It's
it's
a
a
10.
good
Yeah.
collection.
It says 10. It's a 10. Yeah.
So
That
I'm
blue is nice.
yeah, it's one of my favorite skins of all time. So I've got 4 of my ladies there already, and so here's my final card, which is gonna be no surprise to most people, and it's my Aura 10.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And like she needs no introduction. Most used skin for the longest time.
Since he came out right in season 8.
Yeah,
Is
she's
that
still
when?
season 8 is when she came out, and she's still the most used skin. There's a couple trailing her.
Yeah.
Um, if I had some like honorable mentions, like Series 3 has a lot that is just not nearly as rare to make it into the top cards. Like
Yeah.
Suki is a huge favorite of mine too. I used to wear her a lot.
I don't like the
But
rust orange on Suki, honestly. The
yeah,
background, they kind of.
so I have her up there. I don't mind it,
I
but
think they kind of did Suki a little dirty with that because she's such a cool looking skin.
it's like a copper though. I kind of like it. I'm not too mad about it.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there's a couple other ones in Series 3 that make it. Galaxia did just because I don't know why, just the purple really rocked it.
Yeah. First
But
crew
like
pack.
there's good ones in Series 3. It's just not nearly as rare to make it in here.
Where's the
Um,
Triceratops at?
she's back there.
Yeah.
I bought that one just because I like the dinosaurs, but she's not like a top favorite. So she didn't make it into like I would sell her if I had to.
Yeah.
Like what's
Get that
crazy
blue
is like
squire back or wild card.
yeah, I'd probably do that. Something like that. Like what's crazy is like I might sell her before I sold my 10, unless I got another one.
Yeah.
I'd sell her before I got this. And that's not based on like value. First, she should bring more money than those
Yeah.
would. And it's like she means less to me, right?
Yeah.
So like I have some other cards that I grade and stuff, but yeah, I've got more of these. I won't show all of them. I also there's a couple of cards that would
Yeah.
make it in here. Like Calamity would be nice to get back. I used to have her and I sold her.
Yeah. You used to have Chaos Agent, right?
Yeah, I did have KSH. I sold him recently, and then I tried to buy a new one, and then I didn't. I thought it was gonna go way over, and it sold
Yeah.
for
That auction.
72, and I was like beating myself up for not doing that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Was that Black Ash? You didn't see my aura? What about my aura? My 10?
PSA 10.
That was number 1.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And I have a 9.5 SGC, and I have a lot of Italy ones.
Didn't you have an SGC 10 at one point? Or am I wrong on that?
You are correct. I did.
So at the Shard, if I remember right.
I sold that to Shard Knock, and
Yeah.
he broke it open, and he told me, he said, "This is not going to 10. I don't think it's going to 10." I said, "It looks pretty clear. It's probably 10. It's an SGC 10. I think I have a PSA 10."
Yeah.
And it 10'd. He got a PSA 10 for it. So
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
and I mean, he paid a pretty premium price, and the price, and then some of the auras hit the market, so prices come down. But I mean, for like aura, it's one of those cards. Like I know there's like 35 graded, I think something like that. It's
That's
like
still so low.
I know people don't understand, right? It's so
I mean,
low.
how many people use Aura? A couple million? I mean, it's
It's
like,
like 9 million people.
yeah,
User is so. It's like
35 crack guys.
if it goes down further, I'm just gonna get my collection back up to compete with Black Ash. Hopefully, one of these days.
I mean, even when I first came, I mean, the hollows were close to like 250. Like this is like back when Series 3 first came out, the hollows were at 250. Now they're what, close to like 50?
Yeah, they're probably about 50. I sold one cheap to somebody who needed one. I gave them a deal like 25, $30, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, but like I'm always selling stuff pretty cheap most of the time, unless it's like a really premium card. Um,
Okay.
but I remember, so surprisingly, I've been like a big component of Fortnite trading cards and pushing stuff and trying to lead
Hmm.
people into like have some in-game knowledge.
Yeah.
Um, when Series 2 came out, Ultima Knight, Ice King, Ice Queen were the big cards.
Yeah.
And like Ice King can kind of get, but like
Ice
Ultima
King deserves
Knight
it. Ultima Knight doesn't. Ice Queen doesn't.
and Ice Queen doesn't. And so Ultima Knight, like I sold for $1,600.
God, 1,600.
1,600 raw. That's how crazy the market was after Series 1, right?
Wow.
It got crazy. Um, so and this is when you can buy the boxes at like little double retail. I think it was like $60 a box for Series 2.
Yeah.
And so like I was hitting so many Ultimate Knights and Ice King. So I sold Ice King, I sold Ice Queen, sold like the pair. And then I was buying auras for $25 a piece.
Wow. That's just, yeah.
At Raw, so $25. And then at one point I just got so sick of it. I said, look, guys, people keep trying to buy my auras. And I was like, I'm not selling unless you're offering $2,000.
And then it went out, you got offers around there.
And then like everyone's like going, "What are you talking about?" And then or a market blew up or whatever. But I was serious because I had like friends. Like I had a friend. Like, no, I really need that. I really need that card, please. I had like 6 of them at the time,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Okay, I'll sell it to you." Like the time at that point, it was getting to like 150, so I sold it to him like 150, and I just people kept coming to me and doing that, and then I kept a couple. Finally graded them, got 3 10s, and so I sold some of those. I sold one to Black Ash, I believe.
Yeah.
Because he's like the god collector over there. But like I kept my 110. I have a PSA 10 hollow, and I thought I had an Optichrome, but I sold my Optichromes apparently.
Okay.
It's like you get so many cards, and then like I think I still have one, so I'll sell one, and I was like, wait, where's my last Optichrome? So I might have to get an Optichrome again, just like she's like the only skin that I want like each of, like a hollow Optichrome
Yeah.
again. So I need to get a new Optichrome for her.
I think I've only completed 2 rainbows before. The Prisoner and Moisty. The 2 rainbows I've done.
And for Moisty, have you done like the Italy and Brazil?
I can't find anything for Brazil, but I do have the Italy.
Okay.
I have the Brazil crystal shard, just not hollow and base. Those, I don't feel like paying like $15 for shipping for a Brazil hollow to get it over here.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And it's like it's not that different at the end of the day.
It's the same thing.
As
long as I got the shards.
I do like getting like the Italy version,
Mm-hmm.
just because it's a different shard, right? But the Brazil's like the same shard,
just darker.
Just dark, but the shard pattern's like the same, right? So for me personally, it's like if I have the Italy, I feel good. I know some people like Rob; he needed Italy and Brazil for his Lux, so it makes sense.
So, and I don't know if you want to do this, but you want to promote your overshield a little bit. I actually put some on one of my cards that I recently picked up. This Trayvon Walker Gold Vinyl 101. I got the overshield, so just kind of want to show that to you real quick.
That's sweet. Yeah, so this is overshield, guys, if you guys are interested. Basically, you can put it onto the card, so you don't have to put the plastic unless you like to. Some people do both. I like it without because you can see the card clearly. Like the overshield's on here, won't scratch. I haven't done it to like all my cards because I have so many, but like my good ones, like this one, she has overshield on. I even have it on my tag cards.
Oh, does it fit tag?
So it fits all cards. It's just like on cards. So PSA, you can't see it at all because it stops here.
Yeah.
But for every other card, like this one, like if I tilt, you can see right under the number where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So the width always fits, but the height, it comes short, so you can kind of see it. at some point, I think I'm going to get some made for Tag, SGC, BGS, and I guess CGC too. I
Yeah,
guess for all
for the
you guys out there.
prototypes.
But I definitely need it for Tag because I'm gonna be putting them on all my tags
And they
eventually.
work good for one touches too. This has a
They
overshield on
do.
it. You can't even tell.
It's like this one. This one here has an overshield on it. You can't
Okay.
tell. It actually worked over the sticker too.
That's pretty cool on the Brad Beal.
Yeah, so you can kind of see like the. I put on both sides too, so
Yeah.
it does work for one touches. That's probably one of the coolest things because I don't know if you have one touches, but for those of you out there that do, I don't even know if you can see the scratches on this, but
Hmm.
like,
Yeah, those get messed up bad.
oh yeah, like look, you can see the white on by my thumb,
Yeah.
like this. As soon as you put them in the one touch, and like it falls over, it's got a million scratches right away.
Yeah. I don't like one. I prefer, they're called pro molds. They're like a one touch, but you can actually put the card in the sleeve and it fits
Okay,
over
yeah,
it. I like those a lot better. I use those for all my raw shards that I got.
just to like extra protect the card. That makes sense.
Yeah. And they have more UV protection than one touches.
Yeah, I just gotten so used to like feeling the actual plastic or the the slab, and it feels so much nicer to handle and mess with than like the plastic.
Yeah.
Same thing with like stacking. Like, have you ever tried to stack PSA cards when they have the plastic on them?
That's impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like with this, you can stack. So like these two, they stack.
Hmm.
You know, they're
Or so you
supposed to
go to
stack.
grab a stack of them when they have the sleeves on. A lot of times they'll
They'll just
slide through the
slide right
middle.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
With Overshield, they don't do that too, right? So
I put these on a lot of my slabs. They're called the Card Pros. It's like, cause I mean, you could
yeah, I've seen
drop this,
those.
and I mean, I'm not worried about anything happening to them.
See, I'm never that worried about anything happening to the slab. It's just like I want to be able to feel it and see it like beautifully, and not have to like take it out of a plastic bag and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I appreciate the mention. If you guys are interested, it's at FortniteCards.com. You can go and check out Overshield.
I do like the overshoot myself, actually. Like I said, I mean, this is a pretty big sports card, and like I said, I put the overshield on it because I like the way it looks, and I just kind of put it up on a stand. Like, you got the UV protection now.
Yep, exactly. That's what Rob was liking about it too, because Rob says like he has his stuff in there. He said when he's not doing his show, he'll take them down so
Hmm.
the light doesn't mess with his cards. And now he can put the overshield on there, and
Yeah.
that. I mean, I keep my offices. I have all this everywhere. I keep black curtains and everything, so I
Okay.
don't really worry about sunlight too much.
I get kind of uptight about UV protection. I don't know. I don't want my shards fading at some point, kind of ruin the look of them. They look so
Surprisingly enough,
good.
when I was doing research, PSA puts no protection, but
Yeah.
BGS does have a little bit of protection.
It has that sleeve in there, right?
Yeah, they have the sleeve and like it has a little bit of UV protection on BGS cards.
Okay, yeah. That's one plus to BGS, except for how long it takes to submit there, and the process of submitting is
And I do have some
unbearable.
BGS cards. They are nice slabs.
Oh yeah.
But like I didn't mention these, so this is just like extra. But these are the Fortnite Marvel, not Marvel, Magic the Gathering cards.
Oh, that's awesome. In the BGS, oh, that's really cool.
So this is the hollow foil. This is the basic land, the plains. It's if you remember Fatal Fields, that's what that is.
Yeah, I like that place a lot. I always like the farm POIs for some reason.
And then I've got the Battle Royale card.
Yeah, that's
At
awesome.
Dark Bomber, Meow Skulls, and Jonesy.
What's one with Lux on it, right? There's one with Lux on it.
Yeah, that one had Peely. That one does not. I have the one with Lux. That one's almost next. And then I have the Boogie Bomb.
That's awesome. I like that one.
And then we have the one with Lux. I didn't get all of these. All the ones I have that are graded. There's Lux.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I have sets of these. Just these are the ones I got. I got these off of eBay graded.
Oh.
So.
Do you mind like giving like a range of how? I'm just curious.
Oh, so I got these off an auction and no one was watching them.
Okay.
They're like super cheap, and so someone was because someone got hit because I bought the first 4, and then my price stopped working.
Oh.
They went over, and so I missed out on a couple BGS 10 sold.
Yeah.
And so I missed out on those. Whoever did that, so I got these for like I want to say $24 a piece.
Oh, that's really nice. I mean, that's like grading cost.
Yeah, it was super cheap. I mean, when I started bidding, they were like $4. No one was paying attention to them. So then I bid I was bidding around like 35 because I have them already. But
Yeah.
like if they're already graded, I was like, might as well, right? So
Hmm.
I got lucky on 4 of them. I wish I had gotten more, to be honest, but somebody beat me to them. Some of the good ones. The
Okay.
tens would have been nice.
Yeah. So you gonna get that hunting rifle prototype graded anytime soon?
There's no rush to it.
Yeah.
When I talked to the guy at Tag, they said they would grade it. But then I was like, well, it's a prototype. I guess we should go to CGC.
Yeah.
So
I think CGC is a safe option for that, honestly.
just because all the prototypes are going to be CGC,
I like the ones in SGC the best. With the
me
A.
too.
That's just too cool
Yeah, I would love for them to do that.
to reopen. Yeah, I'd crack out my CGC sent to SGC that day.
Like the Renegade Raider in the SGC slab
Yeah,
with the
that's.
A is amazing looking.
Hmm.
So I would love to do SGC at some point. So I'll probably wait. Like I'm not going to ship this out to CGC when I'm not going to send anything else.
Yeah.
So I'll probably wait till a national maybe
Okay.
next year, maybe, and do it there or at some kind of signing at that, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm not in a rush to send that one. Um, I'm not sending anything else to CGC. I don't really care for CGC slabs.
I don't like the slab either. I like the newer, the black one. Like it has the black strip on top, not the
Yeah,
blue
yeah, I
one. I'm
think it's
not
a
a fan
little
of
bit
that.
better, but it's just not
Still,
that great.
yeah, it's
Especially once
kind
I
of
saw
not.
Tag. Once I saw Tag, I was like, why couldn't they just? They already updated it. They should have just put more effort into
Hmm.
it.
Well,
Um,
I sent you was that thing on Instagram of the slab mags, and they showed a
yes.
Fortnite card at the bottom, the
Oh
burnout
yeah.
cracked ice.
Hmm. Yeah,
Did you
I
notice
remember.
that?
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I think I was more focused on the. You showing me the casing around it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was more focused on that. I'll have to go back and look.
yeah. It's a burnout tag 10 cracked ice in the bottom corner. It's very
Yeah,
visible.
but they were pushing it at the national a lot.
Yeah.
And then the cool thing for me is because I have so many comics, I'm not sending any comics in because um, I'll probably wait to do my big ones, my foundation ones. But if like a
Hmm.
PC wise, Tag said they're going to be working on comics next at
Yeah.
some point. So if I can get a comic slab that looks like this, ooh, I'm gonna be sold.
Yeah.
I just really hate the labels of CGC.
I hate that CGC blue label. I don't think
Like
anyone likes that.
it's just not great, you know.
Yeah.
But like I don't want to take it like I don't want to take a whole show about people's preferences of grading. I always do that a lot. So
Yeah. I mean, we already got an hour of good card content, so we can pretty much talk about whatever.
yeah, because so for instance, like I asked my daughter because I really wanted to see like am I crazy? So I asked my
Hmm.
daughter. I showed her BGS, PSA, Tag, and SGC.
Yeah.
And I was like, which one? I didn't have CGC to show her.
Okay.
So let's put that out there. But one of the things that she noticed, unbiasedly, because she's not into cards or anything like that, she said she did not like PSA, and she says, "I don't even know where the number is." And it got me
Oh
thinking. I was
yeah.
like, you know what? The number is extremely small.
Because it's got yeah.
You look at any other one, like even BGS, it's like it's nice and big. You know, it's something I didn't really completely notice right away.
But for
It's a
me, I
small
feel
thing.
with PSA that makes it look more professional because everything's in the same font. You know, that same whatever that font is, same
It makes
size,
it look
same.
more like standard. Yeah, I get what you're
Yeah.
saying.
It's like you look at tag, the 10 is, 4 times the size of the subgrades. And
I like that though because if you look at like design wise, it still matches the height.
yeah.
So if it was small, it would actually design wise be kind of bad.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but it does the whole height. So I like how they do it. But I get what you're saying. They do it very professional.
Hmm.
Like almost so like here's like you're saying like this one, it's just a lot bigger.
Yeah. I like SGC, but I don't like it that much. It's just all right in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, whatever looks the best for me is kind of what I go to. But I know everyone
Yeah.
is very like profit focused, especially in our hobby.
Hmm.
Um, we haven't got into the so like you go to any hobby, you'll have like a whole bunch of disagreements. You'll have like a BGS fan base, an SGC fan base. It's hard for us to have that, is because most of the people in our hobby right now are focused on profits.
Yeah.
Like I want to say 90
You
to
think it's that
95%.
much?
Yeah,
Because, like, I mean,
unfortunately,
how many? I mean,
it's
there's a lot of people like me, and I had Rice, Andrew, who've never sold a Fortnite card in their life.
yeah, but a lot of the people who have not sold it at all in their life is because they're really good investors and they're thinking long term.
Yeah.
Most of the people who have not sold a single one are because they're thinking long term and they have the like knowledge to do that, right?
Yeah.
I would argue that the people who are selling and buying and selling and buying, like myself, who just sell when they have to, and then when they get a couple cash, they buy.
Hmm.
Those people are the real like collectors of it because like they're low on money, they have to sell. But if they didn't
Yeah.
have to sell, they'd be in the same boat. They're not thinking long term for like money and stuff. They might be like I know like some of this stuff will make money on, but like
Hmm.
that's not the main reason, right? Like
Yeah. It's
I
like.
didn't buy my first mega box because I thought that it's gonna be worth money.
Hmm.
I mean, once I saw the cards, it's like, okay, I get it. This is gonna be
Yeah.
huge. It was definitely there. It's definitely a thought, but it wasn't like the main thought.
Yeah. I like your point about the people that they buy when when they have the cash and they sell when they need cash.
Mhm.
I like that being like the kind of true collector because they also collect and they're not just like pure reseller, but they're not just a strong hand investor. And it's like I don't know where I put myself in that category because like I've never sold, but I mean I doubt I'm ever going to sell for 10, 15, 20 years for these cards. I just love
Yeah.
them so much.
But like for someone like you, like it's obvious, like you have a special skin that you used to play with that you love, right?
Hmm.
Collector. Automatically, you're a collector, right?
Yeah.
But like there's like I want to say like there's like at least 50% of the people who never even played the game and are
Yeah.
big collectors that have bigger collections than us.
Hmm.
Which is okay, like, they're allowed to do whatever they want. They like collecting in general and making money off
Yeah.
of it. That's perfectly fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just, like, the matter of fact, right? And I
Yeah.
think eventually we'll get to the point where there's actual people who are just collecting, and then we'll get the camps of SGC versus BGS versus Tag, etcetera. Right now, PSA is the obvious winner, and everyone's in PSA's camp because they sell for the most, and the most
Hmm.
organized, like you said. Like, this is a very organized slab, right?
Yeah.
It's very professional. The way they do business is very professional. There's nothing wrong with PSA, besides like, the general hiccups that any business has,
Yeah.
like
And like
customer
you were talking,
service and stuff.
like you were talking about, like in the groups. I don't think, especially for Series One and Series Two, like cracked ice and crystal shards, that's not even going to be a thing in the future. I don't think for the groups for
Buy
different
the
grading
card.
companies because like say you're a PSA collector and it's like I'll use myself as an example and an SGC 9 Frostbite pops up. That's a card I'm looking for. I'm not gonna not go for it just because it's an SGC. I'll just buy it and until I start my next submission I'll crack it out.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
not crack it at all, right?
Yeah.
At some point, like if you need the card, you need the card.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
a Gold Trooper, if it came at the right price and was in a slab,
Hmm.
like CGC would not turn me off if it was
Yeah.
a Gold Trooper. Same thing
Hmm.
with an Aura, right? Like if it's an Aura,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be buying it if I have the cash for it and I didn't have it. So
Yeah.
I agree. It's like at that point, it really is buy the card because like there's not gonna be that many out there. Now, if
And
you want
then
like the max profit, yeah, PSA.
also goes with the grade too. I mean, me and Rob talked about that a lot. Buy the card, not the grade. Like I don't care that I got threes, sixes, and sevens in my collection. It doesn't matter. I have that card in a crystal shard. It's special to me.
Yeah, they're gonna be so rare, especially Series One, Series Two, that it's not gonna matter too much. Okay, you may not have the biggest payday.
Hmm.
At the same point, if it's your favorite card, you might not want a 10 because then the money might be
Yeah, the money
too
might be.
much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think about that all the time. Is like if my cards didn't 10 that I sent to PSA in that first submission, I had like a Dart Bomber,
Skull
um,
Ranger.
Skull Ranger. I had a bunch of cards I can't remember, right? If those didn't 10, I probably still have in my collection
Yeah.
because they wouldn't have paid the multiple for it, right? But the PSA 10s demand high value, right?
Hmm. It's like a what is it? It's probably like a 6X compared to a raw or a 9 now, right?
It's very weird compared to other hobbies. It's not
Hmm.
as usual. It's much higher.
Sports is like 3X and Fortnite's
Yeah.
like 6, which is incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty. It just like it speaks to it, and like some of them, like let's say Series Two, was I don't think there's a 10 yet of Oro,
Yeah. No, there's not.
and which is like it's not like it's like a heavily used skin,
He's got
but
storyline.
he has storyline, and I'm sure he has fan favorites.
Yeah, that
He's
gold
used
skeleton.
enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
he is used enough to have fan favorites, and any skin that's gonna have like a group of people who like they main that skin, like there's gonna be a demand for it,
Yeah, for
in
sure.
my opinion.
Hmm.
Not investment advice, guys.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
letting
Don't
y'all
get me in
know.
trouble here.
No investment advice. So
I probably need to start saying that more. Then again, if you're taking investment advice from a 17-year-old, you got bigger problems.
Yeah. Just like no investment advice,
Yeah,
just one opinion, just two opinions here,
yeah.
So, I have to cut out because it is actually my
Okay.
wife's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
I have to
understand.
spend some time with her before midnight.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I really appreciate you having me on.
Oh, I appreciate you coming on. I really enjoyed it.
If you guys are not subscribed, please subscribe to Richard. He does amazing content and he's up and coming for sure. So,
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I'll see you on Friday then.
all right, great. Bye,
Yeah.
guys.